before colonization, all around the world, all native new phenomenon. It's not a TikTok, but the problem is people are clinging so desperately to this way of life that they live in a shoebox. They don't realize that that shoebox is inside a storeroom, which is actually inside a shopping mall, which is inside a town, which is on a planet, because all they are insistent that they are going to stay.
You said you're in Dublin? I apologize. Belfast. Okay, so you're in Ireland. Do you feel that Americans are more angry and not as receptive to having an open mind as other people in the world?
Well, no, I'm from Northern Ireland. We didn't get marriage equality until 7 years after the rest of the UK and Ireland.
He's from Northern Ireland.
I'm used to people who are so small-minded. So the Northern Ireland and America, like the red cappers, are all very similar. So I'm used to these types of chats and conversations, and it is just about expanding minds. Once you realize that the world is an onion rather than just a circle, and there's many layers underneath, it's not just what you see on the surface, that we can all live a lot more harmoniously together.
Hey, Marcus, let me jump in here real quick, and you can see Kumbaya all night. Hold on, Nick. Give me a second. Let me just say that first off, Marcus, please cash in your ticket. But I'm also saying, and I said it before, Americans are dumb and lazy. They'd rather talk on an issue they don't know about than do the research and actually talk out of intelligence. It's just the truth. We're a TMZ generation. But Marcus, I need you to meet up. I'm going to say hello to Shepard real quick. Shepard, how you doing, bro?
I'm going to go after you and Shepard.
I got you. Shepard, how you doing?
Thank you, JB. Great conversation. I'm just thinking,
can you cash your ticket in? Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I just didn't leave and come back yet. And they're also kind of correlating with the white young male shooter thing, with the removal of, we'll say, like all the steps towards ending bullying in the late 80s, early 90s, and taking that kind of avenue of curtailing bad behavior or mental issues earlier due to some of this bullying, not advocating for bullying, but we were able to see some of this earlier, and these were less likely to travel that route. But going back to the hypersexualization for trans, do you think that maintaining one aspect of your identity and having that control so much is an outlier for mental illness? Like it's a telltale? Not that everyone's going to become school shooter, but it does pros a little bit for mental illness if you're having that much of a development issue early on, don't you think? I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I also think that I'm just going to try to be as simple as possible. And it's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. I'll get you the pills that you need. I think we have a problem with parenting in this country as well, Shepard. And I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. People are craving to be their kids' friends and not the parents. Let me go to 9. Now you jump in?
Yes. I wanted to respond to Slipper's statements earlier about the problem is heterosexual white men, and it's a conversation we're not ready to have, and he's exactly right. Here's the thing, though.
I said heterosexual, transgender, and the white male. The young, white, disgruntled male. Yes. Right. And all white people don't have these problems. The young, white, disgruntled male is the problem.
And to that point, you are exactly right that it's a conversation that we need to have. The problem, they don't view themselves as ever being the problem anywhere at any time.
38% of the population are white males, yet they account for over 85% of school shootings.
And so if they're not willing to be honest about this and have a discussion, who's going to lead the discussion? White men need to lead the discussion and help the healing process among the incels, the white incels, and the disgruntled young white men who are horny and can't get laid, et cetera, et cetera. But they're not going to do it because they don't think it's a problem. And if you call it out, then you're a racist. So you see the conundrum?
Well, white man, I'll have the conversation, but how do we...
Show the data.
Hold on a second, John. How do we unpack the conversation?
Show us the data. Slippers keeps saying there's this data, but he's yet to post a link. It's just his verbal data that he's spewing on young white males. I wish there were some young white males to defend themselves against Slippers' misinformation. I mean, Slippers, post the link.
Out of all the historical evidence that we have about white men's shenanigans, from slavery to school shootings, what data, when you say show the data, what data are you looking for that you can't find in history books? Journals,
looking for any data to back up Slippers' claims. I'm saying if you're going to make a claim, you should post some data or a link. And until you do, it's just opinion and gossip. Go ahead, Slippers.
Wait, John, let me ask you a question. You think what's being said is not true?
I'm questioning it.
I'm just trying to get clarity on what you're saying, John.
I'm questioning Slippers' claims. Until I see some data, I can't confirm it. That's called using logic and reason to make, knowledgeable opinions. I mean, until I see data, it's still just opinion.
Slippers, you got data to back this up?
To be fair, I don't think Slipper needs to go with data. I think John can literally go to the internet and find it very, very.
You think I'm going to entertain this?
I know.
This man has 50 phones. I'm sure he has access to Google.
Go ahead, make your claims, but post the data or a link. Otherwise, it's called opinion. And until I see a link confirming what you've said, it's opinion. And I could have 1,000 phones. It wouldn't make a difference. It's still called your opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to remember, hold on, real quick, you got it, Marcus, I promise. We have to remember, we're dealing with people who said history, which they renamed critical race theory, is racist and anti-American. We're dealing with people who don't like facts, lived experiences, history, which is data, and receipts. So black people, and I'm saying for black people far and wide, and this is no disrespect to the white brothers and sisters in the stage, in the room, or listening later. When white folks ask you, especially in America, and especially if they are of a certain age, when they start asking you for data, when all they have to do is open up the pages of history books, don't entertain the nonsense. It's not our responsibility to teach these people the history of white supremacy, systemic racism, colonialism, et cetera, and the trickle-down effects and the mental and the impact on the psyche throughout generations. These people have collectively decided that they don't want to learn anything about this. Remember, they get to opt out of black history in high school and college. So now we can opt out of their demands for receipts when they have a handy
disputing that you guys say there's data. I believe it. It makes sense, right? But how do we fix it is the question. Marcus, I need you to meet up, please, because I get feedback. Thank you, sir.
Oh, so sorry.
No, it's okay, man. Just no worries. Let me say hello to Adrian real quick. Adrian, how you doing?
I think that's a good political strategy. I think it's genius, actually. Because if you think about it, every time that he does something, it puts Democrats in a position to where they step on themselves, right? So every time we have mass shootings, what does the left always say? We need to ban guns, right? The guns are the problem. The guns are the problem. Not the people. The guns are the problem. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to ban trans from buying guns. Now, the minute that the left comes out and defend it, they're going to say, oh, so trans can't buy guns? No, that's not right, right? Trans should be able to buy guns. Oh, so it's not the guns that's the problem then, huh? Interesting. It's going to make them defend guns. It's going to make them defend owning guns. After they just got done saying, notoriously, we need to get rid of the guns. Now he's putting them in a position to where they have to defend the guns. It's a good political strategy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if they'll be able to enforce it, though, at the DOJ. And by the way, speaking of Mr.
Well, JB, that's the point.
Hold on,
It's not about to be enforced. That's not the point. Is enforcing it. It's forcing them to defend guns.
No, I get it. But let me just say this real quick. I know this is going to bring some smoke from some of you MAGA, but your guy there, Trump, he's taking L after L in these lower courts right now. And a lot of these cases are going to wind up in the Supreme Court, I believe. Marshall Rankin, how you doing, Marshall Rankin? Marshall?
I would love to address of how we fix it. And I would love to address of how we fix it. And when we are dealing with disenfranchised young people, the key is having a sense of creating a sense of belonging. So I've worked for years and years and years with marginalized communities, and they've got so much support and help, and they're doing in my circles, they're doing great. The circles that aren't doing great are the straight white males who are between 14, well, from about 12 to about 18, and they're lost because no one's capturing them.
Let me ask you a question. Don't even mute up. Let's have this conversation.
Yeah.
I want to look around my room, right? And I'm just going to talk for the men in this room, right? Because at one point we were all 12 to 18.
Yeah.
All of us, my man, all of us had some, and I'm not cursing at you, I just cursed a lot, had some kind of fucking problem in our life when we were 12 to 18.
Yeah.
Hormones, testosterone, whatever, girl problems. So this narrative that's being spun in the world right now, that this select group, because they're white, they're 12 to 18, this is a new phenomenon. Bro, we've all been through it. All of us. So go ahead, Marcus.
What we didn't have back then was social media and all the external pressures that we have got today. So when we're dealing with stuff now, you're dealing with it on a completely different level. That's why I'm saying they're lost, because they're seeing so many different influences on social media. They're hearing so much misinformation. When you or I or people who are 40 and under were going through anything as teeny boppers, it was within your school group or your peer group. It wasn't an entire world that you had access to. That's why I'm saying that these young people whose brains are developing and who are going through hormones and who are trying to live up to some kind of like macho image that they feel that they should, because that's the picture that society is painting, instead of saying it's okay not to be okay. We're here to help you if you need a bit of extra support. You can talk about this, but because they're so bottled up, they are like a pressure cooker. And
dude, Marcus, I like you, dude. You're respectful, but I disagree with that. You're saying that you have these groups, and these groups are needed. I applaud you. No bullshit, no cap. But my question is a very, very simple question. Bro, where are the parents? Where are the parents? The parents in this world are failing our children. But go ahead, Marcus.
So again, I'm 100% on your page, where their parents have drifted away as well. So my mum and dad, I was raised with respect and, live this life and do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Generations below me have grown up, their internet parents now. So it's give an iPad, give a this. Now those parents who have fallen away from what we would have classed as traditional parenting, they weren't taught that. Those have been taken away from school. In Northern Ireland, they don't do classes anymore on how to keep a house. They don't do classes on how to balance an account book. They don't do how to buy in bulk or run your home. So these young people are being parented by parents who weren't parented very well. So we're all actually, if I am bleeding from my arm, I'm not going to stand and look at it and go, well, it is bleeding, but what was the source? Why was it? I'm going to go, I'm going to get a plaster, I'm going to get a stitch, I'm going to fix it. And then we can worry about that. Pardon?
I need you to land your plane, please. I have other speakers that want to get in.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry, I thought we were having a chat. So I'm new to this platform and I'm a talker, so I can shut up at any point.
No, Marcus, I like you. I like your energy. I'm going to follow you. I think we definitely need more people like you that are empathetic. Let me go to somebody who I feel is an amazing parent. That's Jane. How you doing, Janie?
Oh, thank you. Depends on the day.
100%. When you got kids, it always depends on the day. You want to chime in on the conversation, hon?
Thank you. I'll answer the question. No, Trump is not mentally fit for office. But I want to take a minute because First Lady ears could be burning, or her back channels, because JP, there's something brewing over in the conservative clubhouse white side that they want to have a big debate room, and they were going through the list of all the possible people they could ask. And of course, no surprise, they want First Lady, and I'm here to say, don't do it, First Lady. Please don't do it.
I don't know if First Lady's available.
Amen.
All right, but
Good.
for her own
Jane.
sake.
Yeah, Jane.
How about you, though, JP? Would you do that?
Zero chance.
Adams? I mean, Slippers?
Adams is not he's a conservative.
I know, but he's a good moderator, so he can keep shit in check.
Well, it depends on the people. But I want to ask Adams a question. Adams, why do you think it is the numbers that you're saying? Why do you think it really is so impactful in the young white men's community?
I'm not even going to pretend to answer that. So, you have to refer to a white male, and asking that question to. So, I'm extending a certain boundary that I feel like a lot of white people, especially in that conservative clubhouse ilk, could, maybe learn from, and not inserting themselves into Black or minority people's business. So, I personally, I can't speak for a 100%, white American, young disgruntled youth. So, maybe you could go into chillism and ping one into this room. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't play with chillism. But I'll say this. Marcus made a great point, and I say it all the time. Social media, there's no guardrails for these kids. People are so busy working, they don't check their kids' phones, they don't check their iPads. These kids get radicalized online. And I'll say it again. I don't care if you're white, black, purple, or pink polka dots. We as a society, we as a country, we are failing our kids. Not everybody, but a majority of them. Guys, we're going to go popcorn style. All I ask is we have a one mic policy. Just respect the space. Thank you.
It's not just parents, it's the whole system. It's the cell phones, it's the content, it's the never-ending rhetoric about how you have to be kind to everyone and accept everyone's mental derangement and impairment. So it's a cultural phenomenon which is leading to suicide. 50% of these white males who do go on killing sprees are suicidal. So the depression is a major issue. Health is a major issue. And propaganda and mind control and hypnosis is a major issue. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. It's true.
I'm going to throw you a softball, Johnny. I believe that because of COVID, not the vaccine, we're not going down that rabbit hole, John. COVID locked us in, right? We got stuck in places with people we thought we loved. We didn't even like them. And I think what COVID really did to the mental health of this world is set us back decades. We're going to go popcorn style, guys.
Well, Kennedy's fighting back against that. You can watch Senator Warren, Senator Sanders lose their shit today against Kennedy, and because they are bought and paid for by Big Pharma. Each of them have $30 million sitting in their bank accounts, and don't stop. They are literally fighting on behalf of Big Pharma because that's their primary contributors. And you've contributed my campaign. JB has contributed. Hakima has contributed to my campaign. I'm not some big pharma whore. I got $600 to get these petition signatures. So there is a big conflict of interest when it comes to COVID-19, and there's a big conflict of interest when it comes to trans and hormonal medical procedures and trans procedures. It's $100,000 to get your schmeckle cut off at in Los Angeles at a major hospital. So there's a huge financial incentive to keep promoting trans, and that's the truth.
Can I just ask a question there, John? When you were saying about being forced to be kind to everyone in the world, forced for kindness, how many wars have been started on kindness?
Listen, I'm not saying we're being forced to be kind. We want to be kind, but we have to push back on behalf of young men and young women who are being brainwashed and who are being abused. And if you have gender dysphoria and you're depressed and you think cutting your schmeckle off for $100,000 because Medicare Medicaid is going to pay it for you.
Schmeckle as a kid. Come on.
Oh, yes, they do, Jane. There's lots of young men that have had gender reaffirming surgery. Lots of them. Thousands, tens of thousands of them at this point.
Hold on a second, John. Hold on a second. I'll come back to you, I promise. I want to say hello to Lula. Lula, how you doing?
Hey, JB, I'm good, thank you. Just listening for now. I'll chip in as this book comes out, if that's all right.
I love your accent. You can chip in anytime you like.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Dr.
Appreciate
Catherine's
that.
here, JB. Sorry, Lula.
Dr. Catherine,
No
wow.
problem, darling.
What makes Dr. Catherine decide to slum it with us tonight? Hello, Dr. Catherine, one of my favorite people.
Yeah, we're still here.
Dr. Catherine, what brings you to my corner of the world? Dr. Catherine, are you there?
It's in the lower right.
Oh, here I am. Okay, so yeah, I'm back to traveling more to my Florida office, so I have more free time to just chat on Clubhouse. What are you guys up to? I heard there was something about. What did I hear? You guys talking about the farm about to kill everybody with vaccines?
Well, yeah, well.
Schmeckle cut everybody's penis off, Dr. Catherine.
We got.
Right. Okay.
We got.
Why is it always these involuntary cis guys who are so stuck with other people? They do with their genitals and who they want to have sex with. It's fascinating.
But what can you? I've never heard involuntary cis. Could you?
Wait a second, Agent.
Dr. Catherine.
Actually, you don't have to be nice to me. I'm an emergency physician by training, so trust me, I've been spit on, kicked. I take all sorts of shit, so I can handle it. Whatever you got, I got it.
No, but
Agent, give it to us.
in all seriousness, what does it mean to be involuntary cis?
So I only know this term because I've been on Clubhouse. It's not part of my general, cadence of speech. But I learned that involuntary cis means you're like this hetero person who wants to be in a relationship but can't attract someone to be in a relationship with you.
Celibate.
Yeah, I think you mean involuntary celibate.
That's what I meant. Incel. Okay, sorry guys. I had a glass of wine.
But I'm also involuntary cis, just for clarity. No, I don't know much also.
You're involuntary celibate and cis.
I didn't mean to say that, but the latter only.
Well, you're a liar. But let me say hello to Kim.
We just started something new. What are we calling it now? Involuntary celibate? You're celibate? You're incel-cis?
I'm voluntarily not celibate.
Yeah, we know. King, how you doing, King? Good to see you.
What's up, JB? Just leaving happy hour, headed to the crib.
Nice. So what do you think about the conversation? I gotta be honest, I didn't realize there was so much trans hate, not just in the world, but on this app. And I think a lot of men are just insecure about it. Just my opinion.
Could I throw in?
Okay. King, you were gonna chime in or no?
I was just gonna say, it's like everything, fear of the unknown, and then when things are talked about on social media, even though you may never have encountered such things in your real life, people think that these things are ubiquitous, and so, yeah, I would be confused as well if a whole bunch of people were, I guess if I cared enough about, again, what people did with their genitals, like Dr. Catherine said, I don't. But, people think that this shit is ubiquitous, and it's not at all to the scale they're making it seem. Most trans women keep their penises. Most trans men don't have reconstructive surgery for a penis. So, you're talking about a fraction of percent of the population of already a minority group So I don't know. I wonder too why people are get so in their feelings about it.
Well, you know what brought up the subject, King, was the mass shooting in the church the other day. It was by a trans person. And people are coming off saying that, well, statistics say that most of these shootings are done by trans people. And it's mostly white young men. And we're trying to come to a conversation of why is it young white men that are committing these crimes, young trans white men.
And that proves my point. Regardless of whether they're trans or not, in this instance, this person was trans, it is still a young white male. So I know people don't like to hear that out loud, but I feel like there's something to be said in white America about having that.
I think parents are coddling their kids nowadays. They want to be. I think parents are coddling their kids nowadays. They want to be their kids' friends. They don't want to be the parent. They don't go to their cell phones or their iPads and other shit. They don't pay attention to who they're hanging around with. I think this is a parental problem, not a young white man's problem.
I'm going to
What's the young white man's problem? Sorry.
I got a question. Do you guys all have like the same political views? Like, do you guys all support Trump here or not?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I am not a Trump supporter, Kylie. Not at all.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah, I support the president. I support Trump. Doesn't mean I agree with all his policies, but I'm proud to say I don't have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, no such thing.
What makes you believe that supporting Trump isn't a problem? Like, did you vote for Kamala or did you actually sit there and vote for Trump?
What makes me think that voting for Trump isn't a problem? It wasn't a problem for me.
Oh. And you're African, right?
Born in Black American, born in the United States, the greatest country on earth.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm Black American, and I proudly voted for Trump, and I did not proudly vote for Kamala Harris. I'm proud I did not vote for her. And please ask me why.
Could I ask why? Yeah, I was going to ask you why.
You want to know why? Because Kamala Harris isn't a black woman. She faked her way to be black. When she ran for the California district, state attorney, right? When she ran, hold on, no. Right. Not only did she put a lot of black people in jail, when she ran for the California district state attorney, she ran as the first Indian American woman, right? When it was the presidential debate back in 2021, she debated Joe Biden and called him a racist. He was, but then, when she wanted to get involved, then all of a sudden she was black. Then all of a sudden she was washing collard greens in the bathtub with bleach. Like, anybody that's black is going to tell you that that's not how you clean collard greens. Any black person will tell you that, right? So
you think Trump is beneficial to black people?
It's a fake blackness for me. I saw with Barack Obama. I'm not falling for it again this year. That's why I voted for Trump.
Do you think he's beneficial to black people?
Hilarious. So you like vote for I'm a Black American, I don't give a fuck if they're black or white or green. I don't vote for fascists nor authoritarian regimes. I don't vote for people who are constantly assaulting the Constitution and people's Bill of Rights. Like, I don't do that fucking shit. I don't give a goddamn what the fuck melanin is in your skin or not, right? If it was somebody white and they were not a fucking fascist, they would have my vote, right? I would take the status quo bureaucrat over a right-wing authoritarian, period. So, we're not all the same up in here.
Let me take control of the room for a second, guys. This is community conversations and collaboration. Is Donald Trump mentally unfit for office? I put an article on top that Trump's DOJ is considering banning trans people from buying guns. I have no idea how they would enforce that. To me, that's a little extreme. But hello to Abby. Shirley, how you doing, Shirley? Jordan, how you doing? Austin, I invited you up. Y'all, how you doing? MG, always a pleasure to have you in here. Jay, guys, if you have pink tickets, please cash it in. I want to go to Dismal. Dismal, how you doing, Dismal?
I think it's funny that you actually just to have people call say that word. I've heard it now far more than ever. But
Do you want me to play Victoria?
That's fine. I've already been outed, so I don't mind. But
can you guys hear me?
I think my biggest concern is that Trump is currently utilizing anything within his power to distract from the Epstein file issue, and I don't think that he is deliberating on some of the major decisions that he's made, including sending the National Guard to Chicago, including the bombing of Iran. I think that more planning, more strategy should have gone into these decisions. And he's just looking to do whatever he can to get attention away in the news cycle. And that's sort of his play. And I don't think he understands the consequences that this is having on
Victoria, let me just say this. He announced that Chicago would not be the next city that he goes into. That would be New Orleans. He said that New Orleans would be the next city. So
he's scared to come to Chicago. That's why. He tried to come to Chicago before and he couldn't make it through.
Can I go back to what Trey was saying earlier?
The 10th Amendment, JB does not have the right to just go into anybody's city with military forces or federal forces.
He does if it's a national emergency.
Enforcement office. That's per the 10th Amendment and posse comitatus.
yeah, but you know what, King? From what I understand, Kylie, hold on a second, man. I got you. From what I understand, I could be wrong. You can fact check me. He can't send troops in if it's to protect federal property.
Exactly, and so there would have to be a threat to federal property happening, right? Like, he's tried. I like the blatant manipulation and gaslighting, as if we don't know what emergencies are anymore in this country. We've lived through several emergencies, and to think that this fucking real estate mogul who never worked in public service in his life all of a sudden is doing shit that no other president in the United States has ever done. And we trust that, his reasoning, even though we know this is just everyday life in every city.
Well, let me jump in real quick, King. So, by the way, he's going to be signing an executive order, I believe, tomorrow. It will no longer be called the Department of Defense. It will be called the Department of War. So, there's that. To me, that just sends a really bad signal throughout the world. Let me say hello. First off, what's up, Craig? Good to see you, bro. XG, what's going on, young man?
Sorry, Jay. By this, it's just it's not defense. If we engage in wars with this, it actually makes sense to call it the Department of War instead. That's exactly what the fuck they're gonna do, and they're going to act like somehow, in some way, shape, or form, that Trump isn't just, again, speaking out of the other side of his fucking neck for the 8th time in a row about some shit he promised on his campaign run. We've seen it with the Epstein files. We've seen it with bills. And matter of fact, ironically enough, it seems like on top of being quiet about the Epstein files, the one motherfucker who was so loud about Biden's health and what was going on with him is seemingly quiet about his now concerning the fact of that little hand that we haven't seen for a while. And on top of that, the fact that that little hand had a bruise mark for longer than his fucking ear that quote-unquote got shot. So I just want to say, if he's going to continue with this stuff, he's absolutely unfit for office. Because I guarantee you, if I gave you the exact same criteria and rap sheet of shit that Trump's done, or shit that we can see happening to him, or that he's doing, and then applied all that to Biden, all the Republicans 4 years ago would have said Biden's unfit for office for the same exact fucking reasons.
Thank you, H. I'm going to go to Dr. Captain, then I'm going to go to Dr. Captain, then Project, and then Mother. Dr. Captain?
Oh, actually, I was just listening. And I think the title is Mentally Unfit. Here we are. I think we got a little bit of all of it here. Some of us are more fit than others. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to go to Project and Mother, then T.O. Project.
JB, thanks for inviting me up on your stage. Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely real, and it's really quite sad. People rooting against this president. I mean, he's president of the United States, and if nothing else, we should root for him. We should hope he's successful. If nothing else, we should all agree on that. But look, this is not hyperbole when I say this. I really do feel that President Trump is probably one of the best decisions the American people have made in my lifetime, and I mean that sincerely. I equate it to Buchanan when he left office, led us into the Civil War, and Lincoln came in to sort of clean up his mess. I think it's that consequential. But I will say this: Dismal, I think, made an excellent point when she said this Epstein thing. The one thing that's going to derail this president and this presidency is the Epstein thing. And because people like me who support the president, I am not going to overlook this. This is something that we need to investigate. There are people, innocent children, who've been hurt, and we can't cover this up just because rich men are involved. So this is the one thing. If he doesn't do the right thing here, then it's all going to be for naught.
Well, Project, let me just say something. I agree. They release the files, unredacted, in its entirety. They're never going to do that. And I'm not saying you, sir. I'm just saying in general. These files have been around for a long time, and I think that this, and it's just my opinion, this false outrage that certain people have, and not you, Project, I'm just talking about the politicians, is bewildering to me. They've had these files for forever, and they never released them. And I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but I think that this is a box, a square they're going to stand on to try to take him down. Do I think he's covering things up? Definitely, 100% he is. But we're never going to get the truth. But we have a better chance of the Kennedy JFK files being released before the Epstein files.
What do you think, though, that what this does to Johnson? Because he indicated that some of them, I should say, not many of them, but some of them, demanding that the files get released. So, how is Mike Johnson going to defend that?
Victoria, let me ask you a question respectfully, and this is a serious question. If the files are released and it shows that he had something insidious to do with that young girls, what's going to be the outcome? Is he going to get impeached? No. Is he going to get removed from office? He's not getting removed, Victoria, no matter as much as you want him to be. But what's the outcome?
Here's the thing. That would be a good question. Like, for especially his supporters, I was not one of them. It would be a good litmus test as to how far can this guy go. And if he goes that far, then we're just an idiocracy. And it's like that's where we deserve our grand slide down in terms of leadership and in the globe. So I would hope that isn't the case. I would hope that people would actually wake up, and maybe it would be a wake up call. If you're the so-called Christian right and you're supporting a pedophile, it wouldn't be a first time, and many of them are pedophiles.
Let me jump in here real quick. The loudest voices I'm hearing to release these files is from the far right. Marjorie Taylor Greene and her Jewish space lasers, she's the one that's been barking the most. I don't know. Like I said, I don't see them ever releasing them. But let me hold on, Victoria. Let me go to Mother. Mother, I got you, Alan. Mother, how you doing?
Good, just enjoying my salad. I hope you guys are doing well.
The great Nicholas, good to hear from you, man.
So is it okay if I comment on a couple of things?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I want to back up real quick. Like the whole Department of War rebrand, I was sitting here chewing on my salad and thinking, this is actually kind of accurate. Like all America, what haven't we been in conflict, covert military operations, overthrowing of governments, assassinations of elected leaders for 90% of American history, if not just all-out war? I think it's 93 or something. I can look it up. But for the majority of this country's history, we have been at war. This is what America does. We're a violent nation. We kill whoever we want. We do whatever the fuck we want. That is the American way. This is an imperialistic country, right? So I don't have a problem with the rebrand, and I also think the logic, the liberals and the leftists are going to go, oh my God, it's going to be so expensive to rename all this stuff. Well, how come you didn't raise that objection when Biden was renaming U.S. military bases, right? It cost about $60 million. You didn't hear the left complaining about the cost at that point. So it's weird to criticize Trump on the cost when you don't criticize your own party when they do the same type of behavior. And then the same thing, and the last piece about is Trump mentally unfit.
as much as I hate the man, right? I'm not a Trumper. I will never voted for him. I think he's sane enough to be president. Joe Biden looked much more decrepit and mentally retarded, excuse my word, than Trump. As much as I can't stand him and I can't stand his policies and I don't like the guy and I think he's an asshole, I think he's perfectly fit to be in the position at this point, unless there's a developing story that happened that I'm not aware of. Everything that he has said, I believe he's competent. I'm done.
Thank you, the great Nicholas. By the way, I don't know if anybody's seen recently, especially today, the big gash on Joe Biden's head. It looks like he has multiple stitches on his head. It looks like he probably fell. Yeah.
Did you know today? Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't know if you know, but he has a big gash on his head. It was all over.
What about the big bruise on Trump's hand?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Hold on. Let me go to Tio, and then I want to go to Alan. Tio, how you doing?
I'm good.
You want to chime in or you want to hang out?
I'm just trying to see where to catch up at. I'm listening to you guys right now.
All right, man. I'll circle back to you. Thank you. Alan Dean. Hold on, Victoria. Alan Dean.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. How you doing?
I'm good. So I'll say a few things. Is he mentally unfit for office? No, he's mentally fit. That's my answer to that question. Second issue, people have been frothing, especially Democrats, frothing at the mouth, hoping that there's some connection between Trump and Epstein and they did something wrong. In the hundreds of court documents of the Epstein trials, victims were asked directly, did Trump do anything? They all said no. On CNN recently, they had all of the victims there after they did either before or after they did the press conference. They asked them again directly, did Trump do anything to you? All of them said no. The Democrats have a hard-on hoping that somebody somewhere says, oh, Trump touched my titty. Trump didn't do anything. He's not connected with it.
Wait a second, Alan. Alan, hold on.
Yeah. There literally is a victim that names him.
Hold on a second.
No, there isn't.
Hold on, Alan. If I'm not mistaken, it's the far right that's leading the charge with this Epstein's file, like the Marshall.
Oh, yeah, I know. Listen, they want the far right.
They want Clinton. They want Clinton, Alan.
Yeah, well, they want.
And we know his name is all over this. The victim said it.
Well, look, if I'm going to be consistent here, CNN also asked about Clinton, and they also said no. So maybe that clears both Trump and Clinton, or maybe it indicts them both, which I don't know. But the fact is we keep getting, testimony and facts piled one on top of each other that said Trump didn't do nothing. But again, it's Trump.
So why don't they release the entire files, not just Wait, let me finish my question.
Oh, okay.
Release them entirely, unredacted, in its entirety, and let the American people decide what's going on. No?
Well, I agree, but I think while Trump isn't on that list, there are, or in those files, there are people who are, and that are high enough up in government and have enough influence that they very well may be stopping them from being released. And I think that's the issue. If you take down someone like Chuck Schumer or what's his face, the turtle, then we're going to have issues.
McConnell?
So there
You know what issue I have with you? You still have a pink ticket.
Me? Well, I'm sorry. You keep changing your clubs and creating new clubs. How am I supposed to keep up on all of this, man? Don't blame me.
Don't listen to me, you. Don't use your conventional age as an excuse. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not doing young whippersnapper. Anyways, I joined. Anyways, that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Alan. Hang out for a while. Let me go to Jamal.
All right. I just want to say, how could he be out of his mind in any way when he's had the best 8-month opening of any president
On what fucking metric?
that I've ever seen? He's done a hell of a job in his first 8 months. I don't know what he'll do over the next 3.5 years.
Wait, let me ask you a question. How's the war in Ukraine going? How's the conflict in the Middle East going? The two that he said he was going to stop.
I think what has happened here is Putin really wants to play a dangerous game of chicken, because I think that they think they're ready for war, but they want us to kick it off. And I think Putin is playing a dangerous game of chicken right now. Putin is not as tough as he comes off to be. And I think that Trump is just trying to play patient because he knows.
Wait a second, Jamal, hold on a second. Did you know that Putin just put 100,000 troops in the Donbass region of Ukraine? 100,000. So while Trump's sitting around with his thumb up his ass, Putin's going to take over Ukraine.
Well, but the thing is, I think what Trump would prefer to do is back out of it and let the Europeans fight it. And I think he's probably smart. That's one of the most intelligent things that I've seen him do, is kind of keep his hands a little bit where he can just back out of it. And I think that's what he's going to do, is he's going to just say, okay, I couldn't get you guys to come to the table. He's going to back up and let the Europeans fight it out with him. But he doesn't want to be a part of this shit.
Because he failed.
I'm sorry?
Because we can't afford it.
And it don't make
Wait
any
a
sense.
second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Everybody, hold on a second. Jamal. And I'm going to let you speak as much as you want. You can land your plane in a minute, but
yes, sir.
How come? And I'm being serious. I'm saying this respectfully. How come MAGA won't take the L? How come you guys won't take the loss that he failed with Ukraine, Russia, and in the Middle East? Why not?
I don't think, because the reality of it is, it wasn't on his watch, and it's like he says, it's not his war. This is not something that happened.
He campaigned on this. Jamal, he campaigned on this, bro.
Well, remember what he had Putin say in Alaska.
Wait, hold on, Jamal. He campaigned on the Epstein files, and he campaigned on bringing peace to Russia. He said he'd have it resolved in 48 hours. Well, it's 8 months into this presidency, it's getting worse.
I think this is the part that allows him to come out like this, is because Putin said if he would have been in office, this would have never happened. That came out of Putin's mouth. So he's already been rectified in the situation, so he can really kind of wash his hands and stand to the side. And the other thing that he's doing really good is thinking about this hemisphere with those, what are they? What's the South Americans down there? I forget the name. Shit my mind. By him doing that move that he's making with the drug cartel down there, that's a powerful move. No president has ever done that. As far as bringing troops to stop this cartel. And my brother OD'd on fentanyl. And I know each one of you knows somebody who's died of fentanyl. And so for him to stand up for that, that's a powerful move that he's doing right now.
Hakima, let me just say this real quick. And I'm going to pass it right to you, and then I want to get a little more on the conversation. Hakima, you notice how I brought up Ukraine, Russia, I brought up the Middle East, and automatically MAGA deflects? They go right to Venezuela and Maduro?
I was going to say the same thing, Dave, because, like, especially to the point to go back to Ukraine, like, to show you the flaw in your argument, Jamal. You say that he's going to let Europe handle it. Well, according to treaty, if Europe get in the war, then America has to get in the war. So there's no just sitting back, stepping back, washing your hands. Can I finish? Sorry, can I finish? And there's no just washing your hands of Ukraine and letting Europe take care of it. Because the minute Europe stops fighting Russia, according to treaty, unless he's going to back out the treaty, according to treaty, he has to help. So it's not going to go the way you think.
Yeah, last time a war happened in Europe, who had to come bail all those motherfuckers out so they wouldn't be speaking German? It was us. So yeah, anytime Europe gets involved in some shit, we gotta be there too.
It's called.
I mean, right at the last minute when we done all the hard work, but sure.
Oh, stop that, Lula. But Jamal, let me just say this real quick, I'm being serious. Jamal, I'm sorry for you, but you lost of your brother. I lost 2 sisters when I was younger to heroin, so I know what the damage drugs could do. But let's keep it real, bro. Trump is a, I don't want to say a pussy because that might trigger some of you people, but he's backing down to Putin like he's his puppet. But before you continue, Jamal, I have to say hello to Uncle El Normal. El Normal, how you doing?
Doing okay, man. How are you? Thanks for having me up.
Thank you for coming up, man. So, what do you think? You think Trump is mentally unfit for office?
No, he's Trump. We know what we're getting this time around, and more people voted for him than the first time. He's Trump. He's a little wacky. He's clumsy. He doesn't really understand half the things that he's doing or saying. He's Trump. He's not unfit for office. I think he is, as I said before, the unwitting agent of historical change. It's absolutely a fact that we cannot afford to defend the entire free world. We don't have the personnel for it, and we don't have the budget for it.
Then why campaign on it saying he's going to stop these conflicts in 48 hours and he hasn't done it?
Because 95% of what he says is hooey, but everybody knows that. It's malarkey. It's horse feathers. That's not a secret. Anything could come out of his mouth. 1 minute he's taking Greenland, then he's taken Canada, which, by the way, helped to elect a liberal prime minister in Canada, so they should thank us. The liberals should thank Trump for inspiring a liberal win in Canada. Wait, before you interject, I want to add one more thought. Because of Trump, Europe is now stepping up its military spending, as it must. They were free riding on America since World War II. And now they have to spend less of their money on, you get a year free if you have a baby, free education, free health care, and they got to spend more on defending themselves. We can't defend the entire world. And by the way, we have to focus on China. That's the real adversary. Same thing with Israel in the Middle East. Trump is saying, listen, we're going to support you militarily. We are partners. We are partners militarily and in terms of intelligence. But you guys deal with it. And by the way, deal with it fast. Get this thing over with. I don't want this war hanging around. That's the realignment of the entire world. He's absolutely right about that.
It's funny you say that, Norm. Hold on, actually, I got you. It's funny you say that get it done fast, and Putin put 100,000 troops into Ukraine in the Donbass region. So they're not looking to get rid of it fast. They're looking to destroy Ukraine, while Donald Trump sits around and plays it silly.
I disagree with you. And I hope I'm right, and I hope you're wrong. And this is how I disagree with you. Putin is going to keep Donbass and Crimea, half of which he took under Obama, and Obama didn't do anything. The other half he did in the past 3 years. He's going to keep those. Nobody's going to fight to get them back. But if he goes past that, then it's going to be a big problem for him, and Europe and the United States are going to oppose him. So he can move those troops there as a show of force. But I think, frankly, if he starts a war with all of Europe, Putin, I think, knows that his reign will fall. He's a bit of a paper tiger. That place has no economy, and it doesn't have the military that it's pretending to have. Just drafting people off the streets over there, Jake.
Well, also, the leader of North Korea came out and said, we will supply Russia whatever they need, troops, weapons, whatever they need. So it's not just Russia that Ukraine is fighting. I'm sorry. I think Donald Trump is all talk and no walk. But actually, hold on 1 second. I got to say hello to Mike Moon, then I'll come to you, I promise. Mikey Moon, what's good, man?
Hey, man. Hey, welcome, bro. Hi, JB. I want to say, first of all, Norm, I really enjoyed what you just said. There's 2 things that you said. One is the whole thing about, it's malarkey. It's what he is. You know him. He's full of shit when he says that. But he still did this and this and this. It's refreshing to hear somebody admit when he's completely full of shit, and then complement that with the reality that, but he has Europe paying, in ways they never did before. That's something that should have been done, which I totally agree with. It's like I could support him way easier if I heard more people who were heavy supporters of him admit that, yeah, he fucking lies on purpose, but he does this too. Instead of acting like, oh, let me interpret his lie to be what he meant to say, because what he wasn't lying. He was saying this and it's this. It's like there's this constant effort to defend him and recategorize and explain what he's saying when he's just frankly being full of shit. That doesn't change the fact that he's effective in doing some things that A, need to be done, and B, can't be done by anybody but him. So I appreciate what he said.
And I appreciate what he said as well. But I want to ask you a question. I'm going to go to XG and I want to go to y'all. What has he done that's effective besides close the border? Besides close the border, what has he done?
Well, he got, to Norm's point, he got Europe to pay a fucking ton of money that they owe, which is really nice. Like, the UN was literally being funded by us, and now they're all paying, which is great. He also, now I will admit, Ukraine, failure. He's trying, failure. It's hard, he's not, Ukraine, okay. I want to say about Ukraine really fast. I just want to say that it does confirm what I believe, which is that Putin is playing him. He doesn't know any better, and he really thinks Putin cares more for him than he really does. I think Ukraine proves it. And so it is a failure on his part. It is one thing that he's failing at. But I would say that he is bringing world leaders together to have conversations that need to be had in ways other presidents haven't had. He is he's standing firm on American strength in ways that other presidents were embarrassed to do. He's putting America first, frankly, which I am supportive of. It's something that needs to be done. And what else has he done that's effective? Well, so far he hasn't crashed the economy with his tariffs. So it remains to be seen. I'm leaving it open-ended if they're decent or if they're good or not for the economy. But he did say they would take a while, and he has not crashed the economy with them yet, which means that for now, the jury's still out. So I got to say that he's like 50-50 with me, but I want him to succeed. And if he achieved everything he's going for, it would only make us strong as a country. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go to XG, then y'all. XG?
Yeah, so I guess one thing I just find a bit odd, and granted I understand the differences in spending, right? But the length of time also I want to put in there too. It always seems like we don't have enough budget to do X, Y, and Z, but we simultaneously have enough budget to do A, B, and C at the same time. So like, we don't have enough budget to go help Ukraine or do this, etc. We got enough budget to fund Israel though. And we're not going to complain about the funds to them. Okay, cool.
No, wait. Ukraine almost $200 billion.
No. I have to wait for a year for
no.
So you can meet up. I'm chilling.
No, we gave Ukraine a ton of money. You're mistaken, sir.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry.
It's not all right.
Just the defense too. It's all right.
I'm not defending you. I'm correcting you.
No, brother. You can't say shit about Israel without this motherfucker coming out of my crowd.
Don't talk shit and you won't get corrected. Get it right.
It's correct, though. We have an endless amount of support.
Hold on. Everybody mute up. Thank you. We're going to go to Agent. I know you want to go. But I'll let XG land his plane. We're going to go to y'all, then Zach, and then you, Agent. XG, go ahead, bro. Please don't interrupt him.
Yeah, so as I said, it's always we don't have a budget for this, we have a budget for that. We don't have enough to give health care. We don't have that. We have to cut Medicaid and shit, but we have enough to put a $200 million ballroom inside the White House that nobody but my cronies are going to come visit. Right. So we can go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, we don't have enough money for wars. We can consistently be engaged with this one and support Israel and literally everything that they do. That's completely fine. So like what I'm finding interesting is just that there's always not room in the budget when it's something that we don't want to do, but there is room in the budget if it's something that you support or you want to happen.
Duh. Thank you. Duh. Hold on, Mike. Let's go to y'all. Let's get a Canadian perspective. And then if Norm wants to project, I got you. Norm wants to push back, he's more than welcome. Y'all, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, thank you. Just a quick thought. I think it's great that Trump has encouraged Europe and Canada to spend more on their military. but it's completely useless if it means that you've lost those relationships, those partnerships with those countries, right? And not only that, but now India, North Korea, China, Iran, and Russia are forming a nice allyship, which I think is way worse than the EU not spending enough on military. If we have an actual war, it's going to cost infinitely more to America than what they were spending on military before. Thank you.
Thank you, y'all. Hold on, Alan, I got you. Norm, did you want to push back on anything that's being said or no?
Yeah, just a tiny little bit. So, it was the great president for whom I voted, Barack Hussein Obama, who said elections have consequences. No truer words were ever spoken. Furthermore, the world has one and only one superpower by a factor of trillions economically and by an inestimable factor militarily. That remains the case. There's one superpower, that's the United States of America. Number two. They're number two by a lot. They have a nice parade. They're doing a lot with what they have. The Chinese are doing more with their secondary status than we are with our primary status. And what remains to be done, and I'm going to have to be critical of the president for whom I voted, Biden, and say that Biden did not use American power sufficiently in American interest. And I am hoping that Trump does assert American power, use our influence as the only, and by the way, probably the greatest superpower in history by a lot. By a lot. If I forget, I think our GDP is 18 trillion. I could be wrong there, but I know it's 1/3 more, which would be $6 trillion more than China's. Now, China's coming up, there isn't any doubt about it, but there is no other country that can match us or project our military power. So the next question is, what do we do about it? When it comes to freedom, when it comes to keeping the seas of the world safe, when it comes to keeping the world financial system safe. How come you can swipe your card in France and it comes out of your bank here? How come all of the transactions, the financial transactions in the world are a fact?
Excuse me, Uncle Warren.
Yeah. Am I going on too long?
No, you're fine. My question is, that all sounds fantastic, but what about the debt that we're in that we're never going to pay?
He needs to address it. It's not sustainable. And he was playing around with this Elon Musk thing, what's it called, Doge, which was performative. But at least it's on the table. At least people are talking about it now. And by the way, our military realignment is part of that. Because under Barack Obama, we reduced our 2-theater capacity to 1.5 theaters. That means that we can only fight 1.5 wars, major wars, under Obama. And under Trump, it's been reduced to 1. We can only fight 1 major war. And that has to be focused towards China because they're our greatest adversary, potentially. By the way, if we project our power correctly, we never have to go to war with China. But we have to use our power in a credible way. And we need a half-crazy, militaristic, blustering, clumsy, half-aware lunatic like Trump, I think, to project that power right now.
Thank you, Gordon. Everybody hold on, please. I'm going to go to Alan, then King, then Project. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, JB, you mentioned that I'm old. And because I'm old...
I was joking with you.
I know, but it's okay because I'm using it to make a point. Because I'm old, I remember Nixon, I remember Ford, I remember Reagan, I remember Bush Sr., Bush Jr.
Well, you are fucking
now I remember Trump. Every Republican president, the Democrats say they're crazy, that they're stupid, and they don't know what they're doing. Now, the fact that they've said that every single time, are the Republican presidents stupid and don't know what they're doing? Or maybe that's just the same old BS that the Democrats come up with every time that a Republican gains presidency. I think it's the latter, not the former. I think the Democrats are full of shit. Now, moving on, second point, Ukraine. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. As far as the military goals, the whole point of Ukraine was to cut Russia oil off from Europe and get them dependent on Middle Eastern oil. That's what they've done. And now the U.S. is pissed at India because India was buying Russian oil and selling it to Europe. Eventually that change will happen. The military goals of the U.S. have been fulfilled. The only reason it's continuing, in my view, is because there are too many people like Zelensky, like members of Congress, like the Europeans, like the arms makers, who are making too much money to let it end. It has very little to do with Putin and, he has Trump fooled. No, he's, like other people have said, he's brought these leaders together. He's done more than Biden did in that regard. But if they're not going to deal, then he did his best. And as far as Canada goes, I can't help it. I'm sorry. Oh, did Yar leave, or is he still? Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw a report that said some high up in the Canadian government said that if you're the victim of a home invasion in Canada, you should just let the people come in and not resist and do whatever they said. I mention that only because if Trump did decide to invade Canada, the battle would last exactly 30 minutes and we could annex the entire country within a day. So based on what they're telling their citizens to do if someone comes into their house. Anyways, I'm done. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing, piggybacking off of what my man just said. I really think Zelensky has turned out in this instance to be the real problem because he doesn't have the sense to do business. Because all he had to do, the Nord Stream pipeline is already done, I think. And all they need to do is just turn on the pipeline. They just need to split up the money, cut the pie up, and everybody take some. And you could have kept your damn country. Nobody wanted to fight this war over that. They should have let them run that damn pipeline and run that oil through that pipeline, and they should have split the money up. I land.
Let me jump in here real quick.
You there?
Let me jump in real quick, Alan.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Let me just say this. The deflection is so strong from the right. It's bananas to me, right? This dude said he was going to end this war in 48 hours. I don't give a shit if he's just talking out of his ass. That was a campaign promise. This dude said he would have the files unredacted, released in their entirety. Another talking point people like to deflect off of. You want to talk about Zelensky, you want to talk about Putin, and the leader of China.
Go ahead, you go.
I'm sorry, King. I didn't mean to pass you.
I don't see it as a deflection. I mean, I agree. He said he was going to end it, and like I said, he did bring them together. How many times did he bring Zelensky and Putin together? And like I said, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. And that's the most. That's the most I can say.
Then you shouldn't promise it then. Hold on, Norm.
No. What do you mean you shouldn't promise it? That's what every politician does.
Oh.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Okay.
Read my lips. No new taxes. Come on, Jay.
And how'd that turn out for him?
Of course.
So,
this is politics. I'm not going to deflect.
We ended up with Donald Trump in office. Thank you for reminding us.
Well, let me go to King because King's been patient. Then we'll go to Project. King, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to remind people that the only leaders that Trump has brought together is Xi, Putin, and Modi. I don't know if people are aware of the fact that India and China were not fucking roommates and best buds before this administration. And to see Modi, holding Xi so tenderly at this parade and Putin after Donald Trump rolled the red carpet out for this motherfucker tells you everything that you need to know. His foreign policy has been a failure. And again, this is why we are constantly distracted with the bullshit. Are y'all not paying attention to your fucking 401ks? Do you know that he bailed out private equity by giving your retirement accounts exposure to private equity?
Modi didn't attend the recent parade.
Yeah, he was there.
No, he wasn't. You're talking about Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, this was correct.
Keep your friends close.
I'll confirm that then. In any case, he's given with the stroke of a pen private equity access to our 401ks when private equity investments don't have any fiduciary responsibility.